Hello Beaver fans, it's Mike of Mike's Videos of Beavers. Welcome to another exciting beaver adventure. As you can see and hear, a sea-doo interrupted the quiet, calm evening along the rocks as I was watching this beaver, and soon after that a second beaver interrupted. The second beaver wants to know if the first beaver is going to share that bounty. Apparently that first beaver didn't want to share. So I filmed this beaver for a little while. You'll see that the waves from the sea-doo start rolling in. It usually takes about 30 seconds for the waves to get from the center of the river over to the rocks. And as the waves crash in, you can see it's less peaceful and comfortable for the beaver than it was before. After watching that beaver for a while, I headed downstream to see if I could catch up with the beaver that got chased away. That beaver had done more than an adequate job of finding its own supper, as it appears to have grabbed a big branch from the shore. And he was sitting, about 100 meters downstream, quite close to the prairie lily. If you watch my videos regularly, you'll know that this beaver family has an adult male beaver named Chewbacca that has a middle finger on its right front foot or hand that is almost always sticking out. And now I've noticed that this younger beaver has a middle finger on his left hand that seems to usually be sticking out. So I don't know if he has this same tendon issue that Chewbacca does, but I found it really interesting that that's two beavers in the same family that seem to have one middle finger that's always prominent. And that became very evident when I zoomed in on this little beaver. So a while later, that first beaver came creeping up from behind, apparently after finishing its own meal that it didn't want to share. And gee, for a second there, it looked like it scared the second beaver away and was taking his supper as well. But thankfully this time he seems to have changed his tune and was more than happy to share, which is only fair since the first beaver had found the food. Now, I called this second beaver a little beaver earlier in the video, but really when I saw them together, the size difference wasn't that pronounced. So I'm thinking this second beaver here is a 2-year-old. 2-year-olds are getting close to physical maturity, and so probably in a few months, he or she will be the same size as an adult. And here you see that second beaver does a funny little scratch of her back, and we got a glimpse of her orange teeth there when she bent over. And then she went back to eating. So these two beavers actually sat and shared this branch for quite a long time. I've edited it down to a couple of minutes of showing them sharing the food. Here they're almost nose to nose for a while, and they seem very comfortable. So and now that I see it up close, that's actually Chewbacca on the left, who's the beaver with the middle finger sticking out on his right hand. So here we have the two beavers, one that has a middle finger sticking out on its right hand and one that has a middle finger sticking out on its left. I just think that's very cool and unusual, I presume. And then after a while, the two of them just up and started grooming each other. I didn't have the camera rolling when they transitioned into grooming, but I quickly pressed play once I realized. And there, Chewbacca does a funny little backstretch, and the grooming was over almost as quickly as it started, and Chewbacca carried on downstream. And with that, this beaver video is coming to an end. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I do. Feel free to like and subscribe to my channel. Share it if you know people that would be interested, and keep tuning in for more beaver videos to come. Cheers.